Hello and welcome to Dave Kennon's Retirement Revolution. And today we are going to talk about an American epidemic. What's that American epidemic? Oversaving. That's right. I said oversaving. Okay, welcome to this week's show. I'm so glad you're able to make it. For those of you who've listened to Dave Kennon's Retirement Revolution in the past, you know already that what I'm about to talk about, some of the ideas that I have, might sound a little strange at first. But once you really hear what I have to say, you're going to realize what I'm talking about here is transformational. Right? For the baby boomers out there that are nearing retirement or already retired, you need to start thinking about the fact that if you've saved money your entire life getting ready for retirement, once you retire, you need to start thinking about when you are going to actually spend that money that you've saved specifically for retirement. So again, today what we're going to be talking about is oversaving. Is that even a word? Is it possible to oversave? I had somebody in my office yesterday asking me, and they're like, is that possible? Is it possible to oversave? Well, absolutely it's possible to oversave. I mean, let's think about this. If you work and work and work and work and save and save and save and save, and then you die with more money in savings than you've ever had in your life, to me, that is oversaving. That is oversaving. And in America right now, the data is very clear. The Federal Reserve came out with a study, and it showed that on average, people are dying, believe it or not, with nearly twice as much money as they had on the day that they retired. That is really crazy. I can't believe that's even a thing. But it's happening. It's happening, and there's lots of reasons for it. A lot of it has to do with a Depression-era mentality that baby boomers picked up from their parents, which is understandable. You're a product of your childhood, but we are here to stop it. We are here to draw a line in the sand. Here at the Retirement Revolution, what is the Retirement Revolution? Well, the Retirement Revolution is very simple. Baby boomers across the country are declaring, I am not going to worry the rest of my life about running out of money. I am actually going to spend some of the money that I saved specifically for retirement. I am going to enjoy myself. I'm going to find that perfect balance between spending too much and spending too little. And oh, by the way, I might have really good news for you, because believe it or not, a lot of people, I would say a majority of people that I sit down with professionally, on average, generally speaking, are in better financial shape for retirement than they think they are. Wow. I mean, that might be a subject for an entire different broadcast on a different week. But I want to be encouraging here today, because what is just absolutely shocking and amazing to me, it never ceases to shock and amaze me, is how many people come into my office just absolutely terrified, wringing their hands, saying, there's no way I can ever retire. I don't know how any of this is going to work. I don't know how any of this is going to fit together. Again, I have fantastic, great news. A lot of people are in better shape than they realize. And for those who have joined the Retirement Revolution, they have made a pledge. They have dedicated themselves to putting a plan together, to understanding how all of these different financial pieces work. And then by the time they're done, they're going to live the life that they deserve. They are going to live the life that they're going to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Let's get real here. Let's get real. This is happening all over the place. People that have built up the habit of saving, people that have built up good financial habits where they're saving money, where they don't have much debt, where they're keeping their budget as low as possible, people that have built up these great habits, whenever they get to the point of retirement, a lot of them, believe it or not, are actually sabotaging their retirements. They're sabotaging their financial lives. And what do I mean by that? Well, very simple. They're not spending enough money. right? They're dying with too much money. They never come to terms with the fact that the money that they saved for retirement was meant to be spent in retirement. So the oversaving that I see today, let's talk specifically about some of the traits that you would see with somebody that is prone to oversaving. Let's talk about some of the traits of people that are oversaving. One of the symptoms of oversaving is people continue to work even though they have enough assets to retire comfortably. I see this fairly often. Someone was in my office last week. She was nearly 70 years old. She was working 60 hours a week. She was saving and working, and I looked at her portfolio, I looked at her savings, and I said, "You have plenty of money to retire." And she just looked at me and said, "I don't think so, Dave. I don't think so." By the way, she had over $1 million in savings. You're not going to live forever. And another very common misconception is once you retire, life is not as expensive as people make it out to be. Again, there are numerous studies that make it show very clearly that your peak spending happens in your 40s and 50s. In 60s, your spending is still pretty high. 70s, it starts to go down a little bit. And then when you get into your 80s and 90s, there is a dramatic decrease in spending. Dramatic. So a lot of people, they work and work and work and save and save and save. And they never put a lot of thought into, well, how exactly is this all going to fit together? When can I start to enjoy the fruits of my labor? And they just never do it. And then they end up in their 80s and 90s looking back in their life saying, man, I really screwed that up. They're regretful. They realize that in hindsight, they worried and worked for no reason and that they're going to die with too much money. Is that possible? Yeah, it is possible. It's absolutely possible. I see it all the time. You can't take it with you. Inheritance is way overrated. Inheritance screws things up half the time. All I'm saying is you want to save enough money, but it is possible to oversave. Another symptom of an oversaver is somebody that is worrying about outliving their money, even though they have plenty of financial resources to live a long and fulfilling retirement. And again, this is absolutely epidemic. The vast majority of people that come into my office, I am a financial advisor. For 17 years, I've been sitting down with people, and the overwhelming message that I hear is that people are scared. They are absolutely terrified that they are going to run out of money. And when you enter into retirement with that fearful mentality, that can cause some real trouble, right? That's no way to live, especially when it's not true. Okay, there's 3 more symptoms of somebody that is an oversaver, and we're going to get to those in 30 seconds. First, let's stop for a quick market update. Okay, we're back. Today we are talking about oversaving. There's an American epidemic. I know this sounds maybe counter to everything else you've heard before, but the fact is that, okay, granted, half of this country is not ready for retirement. They haven't saved enough money. They really are not ready. They have not saved enough. But then there's the other half, right? I'm talking to that half. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the half that has really made an effort over their lifetimes to save money, to stay out of debt, to keep down their budget. But you still are in danger. You're in danger of something. You are in danger of oversaving. Another symptom of oversaving. Once you're retired, you refuse to spend any of your savings because you just never know. I hear this all the time. You just never know. I mean, Dave, you just never know. I can't spend any of this money. What happens if I go to a nursing home? What if I get some huge medical bill? What if there's all kinds of unexpected expenses? Look, I'm telling you, and a lot of these issues are subjects from other broadcasts that I've had in the past. Feel free to go to the website at stoplivingscared.com. That's stoplivingscared.com, and you can hear past broadcasts as well as read the articles that I've written. I write an article each week. And there's also my YouTube channel where you're able to see videos of these podcasts. But what I'm trying to say is, once you retire, if you feel like you're broke, even though you have several hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, you may be an oversaver. I know this sounds kind of weird. Maybe it doesn't sound weird. Maybe it resonates with you. It should. It should resonate with you, because there's got to be this little part inside of you that says, man, I've been working and saving my whole life. I've worked my butt off, multiple jobs. I've been working since I was 15 years old. I've been able to cobble together a modest savings, right? I've done that, and now I'm retired, and I'm sitting here feeling like I'm broke. But you're not broke. You have money in the bank. I know that there's fear. There's all kinds of these little voices in the back of your head that are saying, well, you can't spend any money. It's just wrong. If you spend any money, the sky's going to fall. Everything's going to fall apart. But I have great news, right? When you join the retirement revolution, which very simply is you say, look, I am going to put a plan together where I'm going to take all of these pieces of my financial puzzle and put them together in a way that I understand. I am going to make this happen. And once you make that happen, you are going to start spending that perfect balance between spending too much money and spending too little. And again, in my experience, most people in this baby boomer generation, they err on the side of caution. They are overly cautious. They are oversavers. And they end up saving money every month of their entire lives until they die. I mean, look at my grandfather. My grandfather, who was a saint. He was a wonderful man. Papa, we miss you, Papa. But he passed away when he was 89 years old. And when we went through his financial stuff and we looked at his bank statements, we were somewhat shocked to find out that he had been saving money every month of his entire life. He had been retired for 30 years. He died with $900,000 in his savings account. He never stopped saving. Papa was an oversaver. He was a product of the Depression generation, right? The Depression era mentality. That's not going to happen to you, though. We're drawing a line in the sand. I am leading a revolution in this country where we are drawing a line in the sand and we're saying, I am going to enjoy the fruits of my labor. I am going to enjoy this money. We're not going to mortgage your future. I mean, you need to do some planning, but at the same time, there is a balance between spending too much and spending too little. And when you spend too little, you're going to end up being regretful. You're going to end up like all those other 80 and 90-year-olds out there going, they're saying to themselves, what were we worrying about? What were we worrying about, right? We worried so much about running out of money that we never got to do all the cool stuff that we wanted to do. All those things on our bucket list that were so important to us, we never got to do them because we were so freaked out that we were going to run out of money. By the time we realized that we weren't going to run out of money, we were too old to use it. I hear this all the time. I see it all the time, and we are stopping it. The retirement revolution is pulling out of the station. The train's already full. There's already bunches of people on it. In the Sarasota area, the Gulf Coast of Florida is where it's starting, is where it's germinating, and it is now starting to move, right? It's starting to form and expand, and people are starting to say, Dave, you're right. I can't tell you how many people come up to me and say, Dave, you're right. I've been worrying about this stuff, and I don't need to be worrying about this stuff. I'm an oversaver. I am overly cautious when it comes to my money and retirement. There's lots of reasons for it. I mean, I'm telling you, the media, TV does not help at all. Trust me. I mean, right? They make everything seem really scary. That's their job. So there's lots of things working against you. But the retirement revolution is changing all of that. You are going to take your life back. Right? Some people have this mentality that their money isn't like their retirement money, their retirement accounts isn't really their money. No, right? They almost have, it's almost this sense of Well, it's not my money, it's retirement. It's retirement money. It's like separate. If it's in your savings account, it feels differently than in your retirement account. Well, I have great news. It's not different. A dollar is a dollar. A dollar is a dollar is a dollar. It doesn't matter where it is. And all I'm doing is encouraging you. I'm encouraging you that it is possible to be overly cautious with your savings. And once you get over it, right? Once you educate you and learn why you don't have to live that way, it's awesome. It's really awesome because you get to start doing all kinds of cool stuff. You get to travel more. You get to spoil your grandkids more. You get to redo your kitchen. You get to start being really generous, right? Give some money away. Help out people in need. Anonymously donate money to somebody that desperately needs it. You have all kinds of things you can do with your money. But it's amazing. Whenever you join the retirement revolution, it really unleashes this torrent of creativity that has been bound up inside of you because you've been fearful. Fear has bound up that creativity. But what's going to happen going forward is you are going to take back your life and you are going to live the life that you deserve. You are going to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and you're going to create a plan that is going to find that perfect balance between spending too much and spending too little. If you would like us to help you do that, go to stoplivingscared.com and contact us. We'd be more than happy to talk to you about that. So again, in today's broadcast, we're talking about oversaving, the epidemic of oversaving in this country. I know it sounds kind of crazy and kind of melodramatic, but it is a real issue. It's something that I witness every day in my office. And I just hope today, talking about it a little bit is going to help. It's going to help. I don't want you to feel like you're broke. I don't want you to feel like you're retired and broke, even though you have money in your retirement accounts, right? You're not broke until you're broke. You're not going to run out of money. You're not going to mortgage your future. There is a balance. And let me give you a little tip here. When it comes to retirement savings, you need to invest it in a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds with at least half of the money in stocks. And then you need to spend 5% of that account value each year, period. Remember what I just said right there, because man, if you don't get anything else from this broadcast today, you need to realize that if you have a retirement portfolio, you need to invest it in a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds. And you need to take out 5% of the account value each year, and you need to stop thinking about it. Because if a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds does not return at least 5% per year on average between now and the end of your life, it's the first time that's ever happened. It's the first time in 87 years where it hasn't happened. Stocks and bonds on average have always returned at least 5%. I can't guarantee what's going to happen in the future, right? I have to be careful with what I say. I'm in a highly regulated industry. But what I'm saying is not rocket science. It's really not that radical. I'm just simply suggesting that you take out 5% of what you have saved each and every year once you retire. And it has to be working for you, of course, at the same time. And then spend the money. Enjoy it. Use it. You're not broke. You might be a little bit of an oversaver, but there's worse things to be in this world. So that's today's broadcast. I will be again here next week. Hope you join us then. Until then, be blessed. Have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you again soon.